Sebastian, Carol Ann, are you guys still closing my browser tabs? What did I tell you? Stop doing it. Now I'm telling you sons of bitches that I respect the Chinese of this country who are honest businessmen. And yeah, this is the land of opportunity for legitimate business, not for death merchants who distribute drugs to our children through the schools and on the streets. Now I'm telling you motherfuckers, if you continue killing our children to make your precious millions that you deposit in your secret Swiss bank accounts, Sebastian, Carol Ann, before your lawsuit even gets on the clerk's desk, I'll have your stinking bodies back in garbage bags and ship you back to China for fertilizer. Got it? Welcome to the BenBen Show, everyone. I think the further east you go, the more skimpy your underwear gets. Yeah, confidence. Nice bulge. This episode of the BenBen Show is brought to you by The Weeknd's new face. Whoa! Looks like the Butcher of Beverly Hills from Escape from LA. Yeah. I really hope that's fake. He went to the VMAs, Grammys or something, dressed in bandages, and now he showed himself like this for a music video. I have looked online for videos of like just him going to a coffee shop. Haven't seen it. Because if he's like method and he's still doing this, walking around for the sake of a music video, it may not just be like makeup. The nose, makeup is definitely possible. The cheekbones, some sort of prosthetic on top of, but this is effort. If he's wearing that and someone has a picture of him in public, please post down below, send it to me. Smash the like button too. I forget to say that. I'm gonna have the like button that's popping up here. It works with the algos for YouTube. Smash that like button. Fucking A. Ooh, don't hurt your fingers though. I'm not liable for that, okay? It's in the fine print. We are not liable for carpal tunnel or any fractures to your dendrites. So, yeah, I don't know. He's smashing ass as is. What's the need for the giant cheekbones, man? And what is the idea behind getting into a traffic accident or getting your ass beat up? I guess it was a video. Was it like after hours? He got punched up by security guards, but then your new face has like new shit on it. It's kind of weird. It's not like you healed that way. Like Howard Hughes just like fractured his cheekbones. He didn't get like huge cheekbone implants to offset it. He might have had trigeminal neuralgia or something like that, and pain that led to him losing his fucking mind and like pissing in jars, but not like getting his lips done. And you know, 2 degrees of separation from the Kardashians. You just don't know. That's why I don't think it's necessarily fake. Like so much money. You know, you're not doing shows because everyone's like cooped up. It's like I gotta spend $500 real quick. Let me call up Dr. Andrew Frankel at the Lassie Clinic in Beverly Hills and get my shit done. You just don't know. When you're bored and you have money, dangerous things happen. Dangerous things happen. I'm just saying. It's like his girlfriend would be like, what's her name? Like she got plastic surgery. She's like a supermodel, got tons of surgery. She's not like her mom was a supermodel, and she's I don't particularly like follow her. I can't think of her name, but it's like, hey, you know, it'd be great if you just became like transsexual over break. I think that'd be awesome for you. Or if you know, it'd be awesome if let's just get you a dick implant, some cheek implants, and like let's just enhance you. Oh, just that family is just dangerous. Be careful of Kardashian group and like, you know, just dick cut off and lip implant. You just be careful. If you want to get your dick cut off on your own, fine, but don't let anyone ever talk you into getting your dick cut off. I just feel like that's possible. It might be good for your agent. Like, hey, like, you know, I'm a little jealous of my daughters. They have the show and they're making all this money, and I haven't done anything since the Olympics. Agent, what if you cut off your fucking dick? Brainstorm. Got some tits, nice little titties. What do you think? Hey, we'll make some money that way. What do you think? What do you think, Bruce? Not Bruce. Caitlyn. That's what it is. Caitlyn. You're Caitlyn now. Okay. Man, family's so fucking weird, dude. Kanye, like, handle that shit. It's like, you know, he's different, but I'm sure he's still like, you know, it's kind of, I don't. Because it's just like his daughters and like it's like he's like trying to one up, because it's like so like I just feel left out. I'm like, you know, so weird. And this follows up into our next sponsor, Kim Kardashian's new book on the New York Times bestseller list, How to Class Up Your Sex Life at Home. Here's an excerpt. Boyfriend, I want a blowjob, babe. Girlfriend. Now? I was just about to paint my nails. Boyfriend. Yeah, but I want to hang your Gucci purse from my dick while you do it. Girlfriend. Class it up, yeah? Boyfriend. Exactly. Georgia Senate runoff results are in. Loeffler and Perdue have lost. Have officially lost. And Trump's supporters are storming the Senate, evidently, right as I speak. It's Wednesday. This will be posted on Thursday. I don't do this live because I have to post those video things because I don't have a producer. That would be dope if they were pre-selected and they would just add them in as I talk. That would be really cool. I don't know how we'd do that. Because it'd have to be done really good, like really, because like Tucker Carlson is talking about something for 20 minutes, and so that one image is there, but I just like say something randomly, kind of like a non sequitur from Family Guy, and then I keep going. Like that's harder. I would have to have someone clicking a button like, oh, he said this. Okay, insert clip of vaginal rejuvenation. Boom. Now he's talking about gym shorts on Mitch McConnell. Boom. Okay, it's like somewhat connected, but not really. I don't know. So yeah, Trump got 63 million votes back in 2016. This year he got 75 million. Didn't win. Credible turnout, did not win. In fairness and proportion, Hillary got 65 million back in 2016 and Biden got 80. Maybe that's what it is. The only thing I think is weird, and I think to Trump's benefit, this is what's odd. Just because you believe you're like, liberals are afraid of the coronavirus more than conservatives, I don't think that it means anything. I don't think it means that the mail-in votes are all liberal. I see all these, I was in Texas at a gas station. I was at Texas at a grocery store. Open carry, gun-toting, cowboy hat, wearing, pickup truck driving, what's up, hoss? Yeah, I got my truck nuts are bigger than your truck nuts, boy. Yeah. What are you hauling there? You got 455 Hemi? All right, man, that ain't bad. It's not as good as my 655 pickup Chevy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Sorry. That's almost like racist in a way, but I'm white, so I can say that. That's like our version of the N-word, I think. But yeah, they're wearing their masks, man. The gun-toting, open carry, cowboy hat wearing guy's wearing his mask. He's just as respectful as everyone else. Is it just the voting booth? They suspend this fear, or is it a respect thing? Where if I don't have to go somewhere with a mask, I won't. If I don't have to put myself at risk, I won't. That's the difference between them. One is a courtesy, and they still don't care. The other is, I'm definitely avoiding all things possible. So in the places that I saw, like grocery stores and gas stations, you have to go there to live your life. But you don't necessarily have to go to an election voting booth because you have the mail-in voting. Is it the convenience of that too? The fact that so many people voted this time? Again, just if you were to take the Joe Rogan experience as an example, I know this is weird, but just hear me out. Spotify's having a really hard time getting people from YouTube over to Spotify. The proxy, the degrees of separation between what YouTube gave Rogan and what Spotify is having trouble with in terms of getting viewership for Rogan's show. I keep the door open just so it goes in and out, so if that's annoying, I apologize. Is the fact that you have to download the Spotify app. I can go to youtube.com and look at the browser, just type JRE and it's there. I have to download Spotify. I have to if I don't like Spotify for anything, I've mentioned in the past that I don't care for their compression algorithm, Orbis, Vorbis, whatever bullshit. Sounds like the guy from Fifth Element, the bad guy, right? If I don't like that, and the only reason to use Spotify, because again, they don't have anyone else. There's not a bunch of people that are famous sign on to Spotify to listen to, right? It's not they also have Dave Chappelle's clips from the Chappelle show I can watch, and then they have weird alien conspiracy stuff too. The tunnel, it's just to go for JRE. That proxy of having these sign up for a thing and go to an app, if that's hard for people, for millennials, why in the world are they all of a sudden, mail-in voting? Let me go onto this website, sign up, register. I live here, certify my, blah, blah, blah. I just don't buy it. That's what's weird. I don't buy it. It's a fair anecdotal comparison. JRE experience having trouble getting people from YouTube over to Spotify. Mail-in voting, registering and stuff higher than ever before because of the coronavirus. But really? They weren't doing it before? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. People hated Trump just as much in 2016. They were like, they go to every protest. When it came to voting, they just didn't give a baker's fuck. Why is it any different? It's because they saw what happened and they decided to come out this time? I don't fucking buy it, man. Because the JRE thing's legit. I already like JRE, but I'm just not gonna go to Spotify anymore. And I don't. I just look at the clips of, like, that's why I have BenBen clips, the BenBen clips thing on YouTube, that channel, and I have the regular BenBen. Because I know some people don't want to hear my fucking voice for an hour, talk to this fucking screen by myself. I gotta get some people on the show to talk to banter back and forth. I think I'm better that way, just like bouncing things off people. Better, more entertaining, funnier. I'm gonna do that. That's what I want to do. It's my, baby steps. Just step it up, baby steps. But it's so obvious for me. I don't want to go on Spotify just listen to Rogan because you already have the clips on YouTube. I get the excerpts, and even though I'm interested in the full conversation, which I normally would do on YouTube, it's too much of an inconvenience. And I'm not a lazy person. That sounds weird because who would ever admit to being lazy? But like, I'm not lazy. I'm amazing. Hey, can you order that coffee for me from Spotify? Yeah. I want the extra mocha frappuccino whipped cream syrup thing. Can you do that? I know, but I'm doing this. I just don't, can you just do it for me? I'm not lazy. I'm just saying, and I still don't do it. So that's a fair point for Trump. The other thing, I think Mitch McConnell not giving people $2,000 didn't help. Not only that, NBC's reporting that a bunch of people, 2/3 of Americans that are eligible for the $600 stimulus checks are not going to get them. They're going to have to get a rebate from their taxes, which defeats the whole fucking purpose of the stimulus itself. You devalue the currency by giving a bunch of people free money and inflating the money supply, that is. Hourly wages per capita per person go down. You get this false sense of like having money, but really net it's not. And then when you come to your tax season, you're paying for the rest of the stimulus package. So you're like technically getting $600 now for like negative $220 net overall. The rebate is just getting nothing now. No suspension of disbelief, no false benefit, no like I'm gonna buy a PlayStation and I'm gonna be happy as a utility function for the next few months until after my taxes are due, and then I'm gonna get really sad. And then when my refund check comes back and it's like nothing, or I owe money, I'm gonna hate myself. You don't get that. You don't get the immediate gratification's gone. I think that's disgusting. And never mind the fact that this Mitch McConnell guy is like, during a pandemic, we got to bail out Pakistan with gender studies programs than the American people. That did not go well for me. I think that was a problem. And you just gave Biden this opportunity to say, hey, if you vote these guys in, Warnock, whatever, and Ossoff, what's his name? Yeah, Ossoff. I'll get you the $2,000. No sweat, baby. Yeah, you just got to get these guys in. We got to split up the Senate 50-50. We got Kamala with the vote to shift it off to the Democrats. So we have control, baby. No thing, ain't no thing. And I'll get you a $2,000 stimulus check right when I get in office. Come on. And he just doesn't have a personality, so you have to add it. I think it would be really cool if he was like that. Like, come on, baby. Hey, I'm the guy, baby. Yeah. Look at Matthew McConaughey with Biden as president. Like, all right. $2,000 stimulus check. What do you think about that, baby? All right. That would be so much more fun. Oh, I said he's just like, he doesn't like talk. The coverage of that motherfucker is like, people quote him, but you don't actually hear the quote from his voice. It's like he talks to you, like the media protects that guy. Like Trump, it's like an official was in the bathroom with Trump while he was taking a piss and overheard him talking to himself, and now we think he might be unstable. Where are all these like sources coming from? These sources, these leaks. So many sources. All I have to do is say I have a source. Who's your source? Hey, journalistic integrity. I don't reveal my sources. But they were in the bathroom stall with the press. I don't care. We have people. Those are our people. We will protect them. Pissing with the president's life. Hey, I'm not going to give it up. That person that's important and reveal that information. I'm not going to give up the bathroom stall source. It's just. I don't know, man. I don't know. And then the whole protection of China. Like, Russia's to blame for everything, and China can do nothing wrong. That's weird, too. massive printing of money. People aren't getting the checks. It's a lot of problems. And people storming the Senate now, that could be legitimate exercising of democratic right to if you really believe that something's rotten in the state of Denmark, that could be real. It also could be Antifa people dressed up as Trump supporters trying to cause problems to make Trump supporters look bad. The coverage definitely isn't helping anything. I think Biden's condemning the whole process right now as I speak. Steroids, right? Segue. Bad pivot. Terrible pivot. But is that real? Jacked the fuck up. I haven't gone to the gym for a week, and I haven't eaten because I'm doing a movie with my friend where I play a crystal meth addict for 6 minutes of film time. 30 seconds of like me talking, but mainly it's like a real movie. By real, I mean like, Tribeca, it'll be at Sundance. And I had to like slim down. So what I did was I didn't eat and I didn't go to the gym for a week. And I don't know what that did except really dehydrate. Also took diuretics. And then right before I filmed, there was this one day of filming for me. It was my whole thing. It was filmed out of sequence. So they're like, I'm in the movie at different times. I ate a pizza. They told me to eat a pizza. It made me even leaner, like the insulin spike or something. Apparently bodybuilders do that. I don't know. Going to the gym for the first time today, so it'll be interesting to see. I'm like gonna do some compound exercises because I feel bad. My calves, I feel bad. I'm so tall. I've worked on my calves so hard. Every time my calves get skinny, it gets sad. What else is going on? I just don't want to talk about this politics. It's like, it is what it is. There's no way that Pence doesn't certify say, hey, Hawaii, 3 votes for Biden. Okay, yay. Back in, it was Hawaii for Nixon, wasn't it? That was the problem. Yeah, Hawaii. I just don't see it. It's amazing how also the press knows what Pence is going to do. He's already had conversations with Trump. Those have been leaked that he's not going to go against the process and try to cause problems. He's just going to make sure, certify they're already certified. Just count the votes as is, and that's that. How do they know that? It's such a personal conversation. It's like so like talking to Trump privately and someone else is in on that conversation. I just don't buy it. It's so weird. Booger McFarland, I'm a Redskins fan, huge from Washington, D.C., huge Redskins fan. Booger McFarland of ESPN talking about Dwayne Haskins being cut by the Redskins, referred to him as one of those many young black players, essentially. This is paraphrasing his words, not mine. So one of those many young black players, unfortunately, come into the league that care more about their brand and social media than they care about making their team better. Obviously, this is generalization. Not a universal truth. Johnny Manziel's a prime example. Ryan Leaf. The list goes on of white players that have had this problem. But what I think he's trying to allude to is not a race problem, which he frames it in, unfortunately. It's a socioeconomic problem, and then a problem in general with this millennium of this millennials, like their phones. Like, I get distracted by putting one foot in front of the other walking down the street because of my phone. I can't imagine getting $10 million all of a sudden and be like, hey, so just do what you normally do. Yeah, I have 10 minutes going to do what I normally do, but I also have $10 million. That's hard. I don't blame anyone. That's really hard. Because it's like, what is the point? You think about, like, I've made it. Let me just have fun and relax. Of course you can relax a little bit, but you can't just like fall off the wagon. You still got to work and put it in, Like, how did you get there? Sometimes, unfortunately, too, there's this like level differential between like your talent, however that takes you, and your work ethic, and how they don't match. Like in college, you didn't need to like work, and you're just so talented. Like Mike Vick, and Mike Vick was exposed in many respects, despite his ridiculous athleticism in the NFL. Things he needed to work on. Because you've got to think about like an athlete like that. Why couldn't he just figure it out and stay in the league, forever? Lamar Jackson, another thing. Like, why can't he just like? Well, his athleticism is so good that it masks the problems. But Lamar Jackson doesn't have any problems off the field. He has incredible work ethic. He just, from like a routine perspective, he needs to practice all these skill sets he just doesn't have yet. Robert Griffin immense problems with social media and focus. Definitely had a big head when it came to like what Shanahan wanted to do with running like bang slants and stuff like that. He didn't want to run this like kind of option play anymore. He just wanted to be a drop back passer. And Shanahan insisted, at least if you believe him, I don't think you're ready. And Griffin said, "F you, I don't care." I do think if you get successful in the league as a young man, despite being anointed as an NFL player, one of 32 quarterbacks as a starter, the barrier to entry is huge. It's so hard not to get a big head, because getting a big head is part of being confident, part of being good at your job, like confidence in yourself. And there's a difference between arrogance, pride, false pride, and delusion. And I think that's hard for young people. And I think that's what Booger McFarland was trying to say. And I think he was unfairly criticized for this. And he brought up the race thing. The only reason he wasn't called a racist, which would have been, ABC owns ESPN, and Disney's main bread and butter is ESPN. And the reason why cable still exists, in my opinion, is like sports, like live sports, which is slowly deteriorating. You start to see Amazon picking up sports games. Big problem. Anyway, ABC's very liberal, would be happy to throw him under the bus, but he's black. So what they do is say he's not astute, he is unaware, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But what I think he's trying to say is fair, particularly now more than ever before millennials are distracted. As a tennis fan, I've told people, I think the level of play from the next gen players being less than has to do with the courts, their rackets, the swing weight, but also all the distractions they have more than ever before. Like the staring at their phones constantly. This is not something players have had to worry about. I think people from my generation, a little bit older, that didn't have phones when they were 16 necessarily, and cell phones in college, again, were really just to text friends and hookups. Hi. Every so often on a Friday, Saturday night. It wasn't the whole browser staring at the phone obsession thing, the FOMO feeling. Not really. It didn't really come to fruition for me until sophomore, junior year that cell phones became like ever apparent in that regard. But by then, your brain, in terms of its development socially and just like being a functional member of society, has already gone so far that you don't need to worry about this, that, and the other in terms of like how present are you in your life, and that is a problem. These industry verticals of branding that Booger McFarland refers to, it's like how do I maximize my opportunity? The thing that will take care of itself is winning. You'll have people around you, Harvard MBAs, tons of people that are very intelligent will tell you how to maximize your brand. You don't have to worry about it. As an NFL player, all you have to worry about is winning and getting better. And I think there might be a sense of fear of failure, which is, I've gotten this far. I've made it, quote unquote. What if I'm not good enough to be the best? Let me maximize my opportunity now. Let me sell out now before they find me out as a fraud and that I don't really belong in the league. That could be part of it too. Because when you get to the league and you're super talented, you realize really quickly, everyone's super talented. And those windows to throw to wide receivers are not as open as much as they used to be. And that could be a serious problem. Just like with all the other athletes in other skill positions. Oh my gosh, I'm not as amazing as I thought. There are other amazing people. And that's scary. The fear of failure is scary. So the idea of selling out quickly, get your 8 figures now, is kind of there. And I don't blame them. I do not blame them for freaking out. And a fear of failure is a thing like Nick Kyrgios in tennis, the same idea. Kai needs to work on so many skills in this game that he needs to work on and refine. When he's losing tennis matches based on his talent alone, and he's not refining, like his backhand is kind of underdeveloped and he can just slam shot. He's just going for everything and just like loses on purpose by all or nothing. That type of tennis gives him an amazing second serve because he's so confident and fearless. But at the same time, it's not the way to a progressive tennis player. It's like he really would rather play basketball in the NBA. His parents push him towards tennis, and he kind of has a chip. Yeah, he regrets it, or he's upset. Maybe he's not talented enough to play in the NBA, and he's upset with himself internally. But he does not want to admit to himself that he's a failure. So what does he do? He doesn't try, so that when he fails, he has this part in his head, this one section that says, I didn't try my best, so it's not really failing. As long as I convince people and myself that it's all about the money, and I don't really care about winning, I'm not really a failure. It's just a business. And the problem with that is, I think as you get older, when your skills deteriorate, certain players start to try to all of a sudden they're 28, 29, 30, they all of a sudden switch to wanting to win. And because they realize like there's something slipping away. And that's sad because they should have tried earlier. Very sad. Anyways, let's keep going. Oh, yeah. David Goggins, I want to ask you a question. When you're running, you run so much. Do you still have nipples? Or are they like eroded away, like the sides of a riverbank because of the friction? I always wondered. And if you were cast as Batman, and you had the Batman Forever suit, the one with the nipples on the leather, like Val Kilmer had, and I think George Clooney as well, would the nipless community like hate you for that, for not being original, like true to yourself? You're playing a role that has, a Batman that has nipples, but you yourself do not have nipples. So shouldn't you represent that in the art form itself to like for the sake of the nipless people? If in fact you don't have nipples because of the running, you run so much. Do you ever like walk? Just a thought. I don't know. Yeah, so when you have screenshots, it like messes it up, so it's like it takes up the whole page. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson imposes national lockdown in England to combat new COVID threat. Same with Scotland, they're in a lockdown too for at least a month. Death rates are going down because COVID's been around for a while. Survival rates are 99.84%. With people over the age of 65, I think it's still like 97, 98%. And the infection rates are higher now than ever before. Death rates are going down, infection rates are going up. Now, why is that? I'd have to say it's the prevalence of testing. Because the testing's there, more available, and it's more inaccurate than any other testing that exists. I should say it's so inaccurate that you could have had COVID in March and test positive. You could never have had COVID and test positive. You could be like Elon Musk, have 7 tests in one day, 4 positive, 3 are negative. What do you have? The rapid antigen test and the other, you need a blood test. The PCR test is highly inaccurate. It takes a small sample size and then like multiplies it. Again, the antibody, whatever it's picking up, it multiplies them to give you a factor to make it like, okay, this means this, therefore this is like, because it cannot determine between whether you've had it or you haven't had it. So it takes whatever sample size that exists, so whether you had it 6 months ago or you had it 3 weeks ago, and it multiplies up. That's a problem. It's a huge problem. And the lumping together of death rates with people who had COVID in March and then they got hit by a truck, they're part of the COVID deaths. If they had comorbidities, they're not counted, they're counted as COVID deaths. The CDC approves this weird form of counting. It inflates numbers. It's designed basically to cover all the bases just so they don't miss clusters. They want to get everything mapped out and overestimate, in my opinion, for the sake of like covering their bases. But what it does is it scares people. It causes problems like this, these lockdowns, which happen over and over again. I don't quite understand it. Serves no purpose. Leads to hyperinflation. Just printing of money, right? Becomes more and more worthless. Prices keep going up. Interest rates have nowhere to go. Nowhere to go down. I really hope they start raising interest rates. This economy is going to go nuts. Nuts. Real estate prices all over the country are skyrocketing. Rich people are, just grabbing it up. The dollar is just garbage right now. Bitcoin, everything else is flying. I'm short the euro to the dollar, and I'm starting to notice in the last few weeks that's kind of floating around. It's not moving very much. It's not, it was, I think November to December, it kept going up and up and up and up. But I think it's starting to like, I don't really know. I don't know now. This is kind of getting ridiculous. And then, so I was a little early, and I'm down a little bit. But I don't think I'm wrong. I think it's going to correct itself. The Bitcoin, my gosh. I heard a rumor it could go to 136,000. What are you talking? What? Oh my God. I remember when I could have. Remember the $80,000 one? Do you remember when it hit 20? Like when you could have bought it like $1? Like just. Oh It hurts my brain to think about the what ifs. A couple rich people told me about it. I have a friend. I'm like one friend away from the Winklevoss twins, and I'm just like, oh. I met them when I was skiing in Vail. Very nice two chaps. The weird thing, like, how many twins just like hang out? Like, other than like Tia and Tamara Pringle or whatever. Like the what was that show on like WB? Anyway, like, do your twins just like hang out more often? They hang out a lot. Like, you know, I don't know. It's interesting. It's not like a branding thing. You know, they have their own private equity firm, venture capital firm. You know, and they did all this stuff together. It's very incestual. It's kind of gay. I don't know. I'm just I don't know. Like a weird like, oh, you're handsome. Oh, you're handsome. Want to row and then suck each other off? Yeah. It's so weird. I don't know. It's weird. Sorry. What are their names? Tyler and Kevin. I can't remember. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, this is interesting. The New York Magazine came out with this article about the Wuhan lab. You guys saw this in New York Magazine, like bringing up the possibility. You know, why is this not being talked about more? This seems to be very legitimate. More than likely, it came from the lab. And then a couple days later, NBC just denounces that story, saying it's ridiculous. There's no evidence whatsoever it came from the lab. This like protecting of China, protecting of this and that. And then another article came out recently saying what scientists and WHO experts are saying publicly is completely opposite what they're saying privately. Like, they can't discuss it because they're afraid of China and they're afraid of their careers being ruined. Which is something I've mentioned about what real epidemiologists that have like tenure at places going against the narrative is not beneficial to their career. And just everyone jumping on the bandwagon. Like, look at all the cadaver morgue trucks outside of the ER. This is horrible. We have to do something. We have to do more. Trump's awful. This random epidemiologist that doesn't tweet at all of a sudden is tweeting all this stuff. And it's all the same shit. They're all part of the same group. Like, let me get famous. I'd love to be on a board of something. Maybe I can make $500,000 from this somehow. I'm good looking enough, and I went to Harvard. Maybe I can benefit from this. I just have to play the party line, be part of the team. There's no benefit from going against it. It's like being like anti-climate change. Not climate change in general, like objectively the climate's changing, but how is it quantitatively relevant to to American citizens? Humans. How much are we contributing to carbon dioxide emissions? That's unquantifiable, unfalsifiable. It's very obtuse, and so yeah, it's a problem. Low information. Everything's about like distributing as much low information crap to the American people, to the world as possible, because I don't know, people in power have alternate motives. It's good for business. Dr. Fauci just lied to the American people a few times, saying we weren't ready to hear X, Y, and Z. Oh, he lied about the masks on purpose in the beginning, so that the PPE, property planning equipment, like this heavy infrastructure stuff for like a pandemic, went to the people that needed it, like people in hospitals first. Well, that just means that you allow the virus to spread across the country, and that's disgusting. How can we trust you? Oh, well, what do you think the herd immunity is required? Oh, 65%. Oh, I lied. You guys weren't ready for that. It's actually 85%. Why do we listen to you, motherfucker? Fuck you, bitch. Strap up. But it's like, what are we doing? Like, listen, why would we listen to a clown like that? And why would we listen to anyone who talks down to us like that? I don't care who they are. He doesn't treat us as an equal. He thinks we're peasants. It's so disgusting. I'm gonna be shocked. I am shocked that people at grocery stores still wear masks, and it's like, what is the end? Because you're not all gonna get the vaccine. That's the point. There's gonna be a guy like Fauci that comes on TV one day and says, even though you haven't gotten the vaccine, I'm confident that it's fine, no biggie, and the majority of people in the United States have gotten the virus, you're fine. Whoop-de-doo, you could still get it. That's what's so fucking weird, is that there's gonna be this arbitrary time when someone's gonna come on TV, you haven't gotten the virus, and they're gonna say, you don't have to wear a mask anymore. And you're not gonna wear one, but you could still get the fucking thing, and your family could still die. You could get it, vaccines irrelevant at this point, and you could hurt your family. The same way you could hurt them 6 months ago. Like, that's what's so weird. And you're just gonna follow along with it. Be like, whatever you say. Because most people are not gonna get the vaccine. It's not gonna be available to them. That's what's fucking nuts. It's fucking nuts. The end game is completely anathema to the party lines or the narrative lines of how this ends. Vaccine, we're all safe, implying we all get it. No, it's not the way it works. So fucking weird. We're always going to be exposed to this virus. It's going to be like the flu. It is what it is. Bernie Mac died of pneumonia. Get in line. It can happen to you. It's just what's going to be. It's going to be in our thing. It's part of our like society and the way risk reward. You know, like when I like to have a drink at Friday night and drive. Tough shit. You're just going to have to deal with me. You know, it's efficient. I'm not going to take a cab and then go home on Saturday and then Saturday morning and then wake up and then get a cab back to my car left in the park. No, I'm going to drive home. I'm going to be drunk and you're going to have to deal with it. Maybe I had too many and maybe I hate you. Tough shit. I don't care. But for real, like this is. I talked to my friend about this and he's going to be wearing a mask. He's home with his parents. They're so worried about him. He's like, you know, left his work. Tele whatever at home with his family, like bunkered down, like you know, fucking like fallout shelter shit. I'm like, what are you, out of your fucking mind? And then I think about that. I think like how many people are doing that, and how what is really going on? And I think about like the suspension of debt service in this country. Like this pile, like not only the suspension of debt service, but the accumulation. I'm just like, what is the end here? There's no like it almost like forces you into a socialist world. There's no way to come back to normal. It's been too long. They said that the lockdowns would last like a week or two or a month at most. This shit just keeps happening. It's almost like my friend. I tell my friend about any conspiracy theory that I just think about, like the intentional dissemination of this virus on purpose to overthrow Trump and a global reset or something, like impose China's power. Like there's this massive things like, well, now that Trump's now that he's lost, well, what's the conspiracy? Like, you know, it's still like, what do you need? Just turn off the virus? It's still there. Like, they can't just pull it back. He's like, well, normally if you use a biological weapon, you already have the vaccine. Maybe they already do. Maybe that's the point. Maybe China's fine. I mean, it's very bizarre. The whole thing is fucking weird. Even the way we've handled it, the fact that they let people fly in and out of China during the Chinese year, the busiest travel season of the year, in China, knowing that there was a virus on the loose in Wuhan. We have like multiple reports of people say, yes, there's all this military activity, yes, people were being locked in their homes. But they let people fly. And then the WHO, which is so in China's pocket, says, no, don't wear a mask, oh, you're fine, it's no big deal. And then went to every country, people are just like, oh, whatever. Like, oh, everyone's getting infected. The infections started being the most important thing before the deaths. Like, we don't know what this is. We're not sure yet. And then because of the uncertainty of what exactly this is in terms of its efficacy, we raised the protective measures, lockdowns, blah, 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 right? People started dying, raise these protective measures. Like, we don't know what this is. How bad could it be? What is it? You know, blah, 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 blah. And then someone said, what if we just like play this out? Let's keep, like, what if we just really just keep going? We have all these things that are happening in the world today, and with new industry verticals that are being synthesized, ESG, environmental safety, you know, this governance, like plant-based foods and environmental this, global climate change protection, bullshit this and that, blah, 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 blah. Fossils, moving away from fossil fuels, like synthetic industry verticals, like forced industry verticals, not from supply and demand, but from like a fear of the future, a consequence of like humanity. Like, well, there's no real estate market on Mars. Let's make one by saying this planet's inhabitable 100 years from now. That's interesting. It's a very cool way of like marketing by fear. This Machiavellian sense of you better start like being this way. And there wasn't a market. There was no supply and demand. We're going to make it. We're going to create an entire new industry, and I'm going to be in the money with market share when it happens. Space. People that are in space. Imagine like Jeff Bezos just making money from shipping people up to space for $100,000 a year. 1 million people a year at $100,000. Let me just, 1 million people, 100 million. Sorry, what is it, like 10 billion, $100 billion a year? Like just think about it. It's like, oh, we're gonna fly you to space for 100 grand. There's not like a million millionaires that are gonna be like, yeah, I'm down. I'll go to space for 100 G's. Fuck it. I was gonna buy like a McLaren used. I'd rather go to space. I'll lease it for $1,000 a month. No biggie. There's a whole market, and there's no like the barrier to entry to that's fucking huge. Even if you wanted to, you have to have like defense contracts and these special like no one's gonna let you just build a rocket. Like, hey, I have a rocket I built in my house. I'm like that guy, Area 51 guy, Bob Lazar. I have a rocket car. I'm gonna take. No, we're not gonna let you do that. That's interest in national security. We can't let you do that. Only Jeff can do that. Jeff and Elon. I don't know. It's incredible. The other day, NYPD investigators were investigating a bomb hoax inside a Tesla that led to evacuation of this Queens Mall Monday morning. Siberian Husky was also found in the vehicle. I hope the dog's okay. Sounds like a bad joke. Jeff Bezos blaming Elon Musk. I don't know. Remember all the stuff that happened with the Tesla? Like how many people were trying to like shit on it and like destroy it, like this knock it down. Like it was was that show like Grand Tour? Was that what it was? Where they made it seem like the battery died. It didn't die. They did that for the show. And Elon was so pissed. It was just for theatrics to make the show interesting. One episode of like a 20-episode season. That's so fucked up. If you came out with a product and they intentionally made it like look faulty for the sake of the show, that's fucked up. Not only is it fucked up, what other reason would you have to do that? Oh, so Mercedes and everyone else loves you. Ugh. I mean, people do anything for money. I mean, as I said, like AOC or people like that, you know, she's a bartender, now she has all this power, makes $180,000 a year on the Hill, or 140, whatever it is, and then she has all the super PACs for herself, millions of dollars pouring in. You think someone like that's gonna like change or actually do something that like is objectively like unique, like you know, I'm gonna voice my own opinion? No, you're gonna be told what the fuck to do by the people that picked you. It's talentless. There's so many talented people. You are chosen. It's like the difference between having a podcast with advertising revenue and the difference without having advertising revenue. The idea of, what is it, Section 230? Section 230 of the defense bill that could lead to people like YouTube essentially getting rid of people that aren't certified, verified. Am I following this right? In terms of protections, it trickles down to, I may be way off in the way I'm thinking about this, but the barrier of control of information. The idea that verified users in YouTube will become like Netflix. People like me, unless I'm certified, won't. People without advertising revenue, you know, like there's YouTubers that are millionaires because of the ads and what they get from that. Then there's like the algos that like people. Then there's algos. There's like actually built-in like coding that like knocks people down based on what they say. I don't know, man. It's scary. Scary to think about. That's not cool. Oh shit. Am I on low battery? I'm on low battery. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Hold on. One sec. Back. Okay. I have no idea. What was I saying? Yeah, certified YouTube videos getting knocked down. Definitely possible. Censorship's higher than ever before. The inverse of censorship. You fucking up, like failing up, which is what every liberal gets to do, but anyone conservative does not get to do. You fuck up once, you're screwed. And if the left or just society finds anything you've done in the past, it's 50-50 whether you're done. It sucks. It's like Dave Chappelle could be like knocked down. It's like, yeah, you have to like whitewash your whole. Is that racist? I have to be careful. Was whitewashing, can that be taken out of context? You know what I mean? Like you're like, oh, your Twitter, before you get famous, better delete all those tweets. One of the most idiotic things I've said. Stuff like I don't filter it, I don't care, just let me talk, let me say inappropriate things I don't actually. Sometimes you say things that you don't even believe, you just misspeak. Like you said that, yeah, I didn't mean it. Well, you said it again here. Yeah, but I'm not like, it's not really my point. I'm just not eloquent. You know, like you just don't know. What is it? What have I done? People have done so many stupid things. And that's what's fucked up. It's like, you're supposed to be a superhero. And if any time, you say you've always been on the party line, they cut you down, they say you're not genuine because you did this in the past. Like Kevin Hart, you know, making homophobic jokes or something like that. Like if his kid was homophobic, he'd beat the crap out of him or disown him. Like, Just get over it. Come on. You can't. Man, it's like what things you can't do. Like, come on. He wouldn't hit his kid if his kid was gay. It's crazy. He wouldn't do that at all. He would just like cut off his balls, turn that into a pussy, make sure he's a woman now, so he's not really gay. And it's like, I have a daughter. She likes men. See, like you can't make a joke like that. Haha, not very funny. But the point is like, why can't you just say something like that? Who cares? Kamala Harris. Clearly, the freedom thing of this story. Senator Kamala Harris started her life's work young. She laughs from her gut the way you would with family. As she remembers being wheeled through an Oakland, California civil rights march in a stroller with no straps with her parents and her uncle. At some point, she fell from the stroller. Few safety regulations existed for children's equipment back then. And the adults, caught up the rapture of the protest, just kept on marching. By the time they noticed little Kamala was gone and double back, she was understandably upset. My mother tells a story about how I'm fussing, Harris says, and she's like, baby, what do you want? What do you want? Is that racist? And Kamala just looked at her and said, freedom. Freedom. Same anecdote that Martin Luther King used. She's used this anecdote twice since 2010. Once referring to herself saying this, and then the other is through a third party, a little girl she met that said this. Clearly she's full of shit, doesn't get called on it. She started saying this story back in 2010 from a book she published that no one read. Otherwise it would have come out. Maybe it wouldn't have come out. I do think the onslaught of like social media and like everything you've done being like open book didn't happen until 2014, but still, it would have been made if no one wants to touch it. You're a liberal. This woman has gone out of her way to withhold evidence that would exonerate people from death row and reverse her convictions when she was a prosecutor in California. Which is all about prosecutions, notches on your belt. You can't let people go free. It's not good for your career. Woman is a sociopath, a psychopath, maybe. She is a narcissist. She doesn't give a baker's fuck about anyone but herself. When people are like, hey, why are you so mean to Biden? How can you work with him? You talk so much shit. She's like, that was the debate, baby. She's fake, man. And she's going to be president of the United States. Biden is going to fart out of his mouth so many times. People will start feeling sorry for him. And then, like, something's going to come out. He's like, I have a problem. I'm going to suspend my presidency and get medical help for X, Y, and Z until I can figure this out. Kamala will take over an interim thing, keep talking all this amazing shit about Biden, how amazing he is, and that she doesn't really want this job. She hates that she has to be in this position because Biden's the president. He was elected by the people. And then she's going to, like, slowly, he's going to keep doing the opposite, talking about how amazing she is, and that it's in the interest of everyone. At some point, he announces his dementia or diagnosis with whatever, some sort of, like, amyloid plaque buildup, whatever it is. And so he has to step down. This is what's going to happen. There's just no way. Maybe it doesn't happen until like year 3, but it's going to happen. Probably happen sooner than that. You want to get people warmed up to her before the election. That is the kicker. It can't happen in year 3 because it looks like she hasn't done, she needs to do something as president before to like substantiate that, like, yeah, she needs to do something. So it's going to happen soon. Kamala's going to be president of the United States sooner than you realize. Remember, Biden said he only has every intention of he's alluded to him not being president 4 years from now or running for a second term. He's only running for 1 term. He's mentioned, I'm going to do what I told Obama, which is I'm going to come up with an illness and I'm going to step down. He's alluded to this weird, like, this game plan of, like, this is all about, like, I got in, they let me become president. It's what I've always wanted before I ruined my career, the plagiarism scandal from the 1970s. I got it, got back on the horse. Now I'm going to step down. President is president, even if it's only 2 years. Congratulations, Kamala's amazing. First female black president. Then she does something as president. Has some tenure, and then it rolls into the 2024. Yeah. Yippee. That's what's going to happen. Speaking of, like, freedoms being violated by the COVID thing, I'm just going to wrap up this way. NYC has proposed Assembly Bill A416, which allows people to be rounded up just for exhibiting symptoms or people who might be sick. Basically, they could test you, I guess, off the cuff or look at you with like, I don't know, concern that you were around someone that was sick, so you must be sick too. Say, for example, someone near you or close to you in your family was tested positive. And New York's health people go to your house and then they basically contain and like force all of your family members to go to like a facility and stay there quarantined just because they were near you. What? And you might not be sick. That's insane. That is a military state. That's totalitarianism. That's insane. Can't let that happen. A man was arrested in the UK just for hugging people in the park, arrested for violating quarantine or the distancing rules. Who are these police that are doing this shit? Why is he hugging people? Because of the social distancing. Because of this, like, hey, we're not connected. We're more connected online than we were connected in real life. And I feel like it's almost like that. It's like this. Let's get used to that. It's what we want. We don't want physical. Ew. Start like design something where you can just fuck people online and then you just get orgasms through like, I don't know, Yahoo Messenger. That was great, babe. All right, off to work. Nice quickie. And she's like in Ukraine or something like that. I don't know. But like this, I mentioned the sex doll thing. Like that sex propelled. Maybe sex will propel the next AI, like work from home, Great Reset. Like the sex doll, that might be part of it. Amazon sex thing. It's like you put a little thing in your penis or a little tube in your vagina, and you just press a button. You put on a visor. It's boom. It's like I don't know, like a straight Ricky Martin or gay, depending on what your orientation is there for you, and you're like hi, and it's great. Actually, crude something for the heterosexuals. Who should I pick? Monica Bellucci? Why not? Monica Bellucci, something like that. Linda Evangelista. I don't know. I think Kelsey's pretty badass. Anyway, I'm gonna show a picture. You can see she's on my stuff. You can see she's a 12. Very lucky. LA County arrested 900 people on New Year's Eve. They were having parties at different houses. What do you call them? I don't know, COVID like lockdown police or something. It's okay. All right. I mean, people can't do what they want. The Maryland COVID squad has done the same thing, arresting people at parties. It's like a misdemeanor. I'm surprised. Wouldn't be surprised if Biden, when he does his first 100 days mask mandate, he doesn't make it like a felony not to wear one or something. Something like really like step up the stakes. Misdemeanors, citations, all citations are misdemeanors. It doesn't really necessarily mean it, but if you make it a felony, like Jesus fucking Christ, I actually would not mind that felony. It's like, what do you have a felon? You're a felon? Yeah, for not wearing a mask. Weird. That is weird. It's like you're a felon for not doing anything. Yeah. It's almost like the Good Samaritan laws, like the whole like the protect people. Like say someone's having an overdose from opiates. Opiate crisis is being completely ignored right now. You're afraid of intervening, or some Heimlich maneuver at a restaurant. I better not do it because I could get sued. The whole purpose behind Good Samaritan laws is to protect you so that you do something. Imagine getting arrested for not doing something. Like the kids drowning in the pool, you don't do anything, you're arrested for neglect, even if it's not your child. That's fucking weird, in my opinion. You're not a lifeguard, you're someone else's parent, you have to watch your own children, you're arrested. You're not wearing a mask because you want to go for a run and you're not bothering anyone. That's fucking weird. You're gonna be arrested at your house, like in your yard, like where? That's to me interesting. This whole mask mandate. What is public? That's weird too. What's public? What if you have a private street, but there's public utilities there? Like what? How does that work? Like that's so weird. I don't know, man. The whole mask thing with like walking around outside on your own, away from people, in like a broad space, but that's weird. I see people driving around with masks on. That's weird too. Like eventually, like it becomes like this is just what you're supposed to do. Training you like Pavlovian. It's fucked up. I don't like it. Probably the most interesting thing that's happening right now that's not getting enough pub is the bail application for Julian Assange and the UK judge that denied the extradition warrant from the United States. Wonderful. You imagine like Julian Assange going free and actually being able to like go on TV or something. Maybe it'll be a gag order, but maybe not. And he can, speak publicly in front of a camera, talk about everything that's going on. Allegedly, Assange was spied on at the Ecuadorian embassy by David Morales, who was Sheldon Adelson, the casino billionaire, the head of security, guarded his yacht, whatever, yada, 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 yada. Big Republican donor for Trump. All these cameras were put into the Ecuadorian palace to spy on him, and that information was then put onto servers in Spain that were accessed allegedly by the CIA. There's all these IP addresses to the US associated IP addresses that are spread across the United States, are accessing this private security firm in Spain that guarded the Ecuadorian embassy and put all the security in. But then somehow there's access points to the United States. They're like all over the place through IP address link ups. Creepy. Very, 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 very creepy. Julian Assange, I think Trump should pardon him. I think provided the Russ Ulbricht stuff about his paying like a hitman for something. You never know what prosecutors cook up to make someone look bad. If that's not true and that's substantiated as like completely erroneous, then the drug crisis in this country has affected me personally. Someone very close to me, and at the same time, the choice of people to make decisions as adults as to what they ingest and put in their bodies, I think is also fair. It's tough. Do I think Russ Ulbricht should be in a supermax prison or something for the rest of his life? No. 10 or 15 years, maybe that's justified. There's all this collateral damage, and there's not enough oversight from the public sphere when it comes to overdoses and the regulation of these medicines. And the idea that you run a website that has vendors that sell stuff that can kill people or is bad. It's not you have no oversight on the product. You're just like the third party site. It's like saying if an Uber driver rapes a woman, Uber can't be held liable. It's kind of the same thing. I think that's the problem. That's the stupidity of Russ Ulbricht's plan and the selfishness is I'm making all this money. I'm getting a percentage of every transaction on this bulletin board that I run. It's like Uber. And there's some vendors that take advantage of people through fraud, through fentanyl and their opiates, heroin, whatever. They're put fentanyl and tons of stuff, MDMA, they overdose, bad MDMA, whatever. And I don't do anything. I don't shut down my website. I don't kick them off right away or at all. I don't care. It's your choice as a consumer to make that choice, that decision for yourself. The problem is that if you have a health problem and you're an addict, you might not have that choice. And you're kind of, the public sector is stopping you from purchasing this drug because they know how addictive it is and how dangerous it is. So you do it illegally. And the facilities available to you to get help are few and far between. And that's the disconnect. There's not enough free Suboxone or methadone. It's a business maintenance therapy that basically uses analogs of morphine to keep you addicted for the rest of your life. So you take a kind of a medicinal, certified, healthy, clean version of your drug. That's a problem. These things are problems. The dark markets and the public sphere are not connected, and there's no oversight there. And Russ's problems in that regard are kind of similar to the difference between Edward Snowden and Julian Assange. There's been evidence that Julian Assange, his leaks have led to the compromising of agents around the world and the death of some people, death of American lives and other service members' lives around the country. And arguably programs that have protected the United States and protected people in general. And yes, some of the things he's alluded to and he's released are crimes, but there's some collateral damage there. Edward Snowden, there's no collateral damage, relatively speaking, in terms of American lives being lost. Otherwise, that would have come out. But he also file dumped without reading everything. And he was ignorant to that fact, which a lot of people don't talk about. He would read some of it and then there's thousands of pages that he didn't read and he just file dumped. So Julian Assange, as a journalist, might be, if you're considering pardoning Edward Snowden, you're considering pardoning Russ Ulbricht, even Julian Assange has hired people that have disseminated information from WikiLeaks without his permission that happened, that was real, it could hurt people and compromise the United States. And it was basically Julian Assange's responsibility because he picked that employee. Net, Julian Assange, what he's gone through, living at the embassy for 7 years, and I think it was 7 years, being charged with rape just to get him to the United States faster, this false allegation, utterly ridiculous, for basically forcing him to father children to save his life inside an embassy, which I think is what he did. This is craziness. Your circle's so small, I'm gonna have sex with this woman. I think she's an Ecuadorian citizen, and that way I'm protected, and I can't, blah, 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 blah. Just so you don't die in a prison, 30 years from now, in a cell that you don't get to leave. He was one of the last bastions of free speech that in the world that we live in now with all this censorship, regardless of how he is the bastion of free speech in objective news. Even though he's releasing things without permission from sources, he feels it's in the interest of the republic that is the world, as a collective, to hear these things and see these things and see the hypocrisies of government organizations like the United States. And in that sense, I think we need him now more than ever. And someone like Trump, who despises legacy media and what the media is today, I think he should pardon Julian Assange. And that's my take on that. Russ Ulbricht, Edward Snowden, sure, and Julian. Click like down below, subscribe to my channel. I will see you all later. BenBen out. Bye.